Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye, bye. In a menudo style, in a direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very much appreciative. Gracias. I just got off the phone with the good-ass homeboy, man. He's starting a new channel, High Power Fitness. Make sure you guys tap in, man. Go show the homeboy some love. He's been there, done that, did a lot of time, man, and is just here to kick that chicanismo. So make sure you guys go tap in with High Power Fitness. Shout out to the homie, man, a righteous dude right there. Now, trip out. I seen the Vlad TV interview with Big Tone, right? Shout out to Big Tone, man. I fuck with it. Now, one thing I will say, and this is for sure, is a lot of people been asking me, hey, how'd you feel about that interview? Who cares how I felt about that interview? That man did that. He got up there. He carried himself to that certain standard that Norteños do. And Tone is beloved in Northern California. Let's just get that out the way, man. Righteously. He deserves that. He's been doing it for a long time, whether it be in the rap game, whether it be on the streets. His name rings bells in Northern California, man. And Tone has always carried himself in a correct fashion. You know, he reminds me so much of so many of the Norteños from the old school, man, that think about what they say before they're going to say it. He has that Northern California mentality, that drip, that swag. It just is what it is, man. For those that hate, keep on hating. That Vato's going to continue to do what he does. But he did go on Vlad TV, and there was a lot of skeptical-ass questions asked, right? It seems like these podcasters, Vlad, Adam A. Miner, and all these different podcasters always want to ask the icky, tricky, sticky questions, right? What's up with your hood? Where are you from? Why do Norteños not get along with Sureños? And all that good stuff that has already been answered so many different times, so many different ways, man. And basically, they're just trying to put you on blast and put you in a bind. Now, of course, Big Tone knows enough not to say too much, right? He's of that understanding. And that leads me to the content of the day. There was a question that was kind of asked. You know, do Norteños get looked at any differently if they've never done prison time? Now, we all know, if you don't know, Tone has never done prison time. Okay, never got caught up in a situation. Now, I'm going to be honest with you and real. When I was young and in CYA, we aspired to go to prison. We already knew we were going to prison as gang members, North and South, because I'm sure the Southsiders felt the same way. Okay, I can't speak for them. But because I'm brown, I'm going to speak for brown men. You know, when it comes to my dog's over here trying to piss in my fucking room right now, so I'm looking at him. Stop! Don't do... Are you kidding me? Are you just going to piss on the puppy pad in front of me? Anyway, so trip out. When it comes to doing prison time, man, you know, you're judged in your barrio. There's a measuring stick. Okay? And it ain't to measure your pipa. That measuring stick is, if you're really putting in work, if you're doing dirt for the hood like you're supposed to, allegedly, then you're going to catch a case. You're eventually going to go do some prison time. And I know right here on YouTube, man, you'll hear a lot of the prison content creators, a lot of people judging people by what type of yards they've been on. You'll hear dudes that have done the 180 times, 4 yards, shoe programs, talk about, bro, you were just on a level 2 or a level 3. That ain't shit. To me, prison is prison, period. Doesn't matter what yard you were on. You know, we heard Swifty Blue, he just did a video. And he talked about, I guess it was Devour. He said you should get DP'd for being on a level 2. Why? You know, why would that man get DP'd? That man obviously did his prison term. You can't tell ICC committee. You can't tell when you go to reception where they're going to send you. They're going to send you to whatever fucking yard they're going to send you to. And you conduct your program according to that yard. If you're not supposed to be there, then you get off where you're mad at. If you are, then you function and program and establish your flag. It's just what it is. I tried to go... but he didn't do it, right? Now, with Tone, he's one of those guys that's never been to prison. So you ask yourself, how can you be a respected Norteño or a respected Southsider in a barrio when you've never done prison time? Well, who says prison makes you or breaks you as a gangster or gang member? It doesn't. Going to prison doesn't make you any more tougher than the next man. I got a lot of tough-ass, righteous, real homeboys that never even seen the inside of the county jail gates. That doesn't mean they're not solid. That doesn't mean they won't take one for the homie, but that does mean they're always going to be in question with the righteous, real homies that have done time. See, it's a good boys club. Actually, it's a bad boys club, but we call it the good boys club. When you've done time, then you could identify with other homeboys because you've went through the same struggle and hardship. When a homeboy is talking about A facility or B facility or C yard or D yard, a homeboy's talking about top tier, bottom tier, you guys can have them righteous conversation because you guys understand and have been through that same struggle. Nobody can tell you about doing time if they've never done it. That right there is a hands-on situation. You don't know how it feels to sleep on a hard-ass rack unless you've slept on a hard-ass rack. Am I telling the truth? It's the truth, right? You know, I started out at a very young age. Not because I wanted to, but because I kind of fell into a situation where I felt that I had to prove myself to the homies. I did that, and that started off a long career and life of incarceration. Now, Norteños call it a career. Okay, when your career is going, man, you're doing what you're doing. You're functioning. You're in and out of prison facilities. You're on the streets putting in work, doing that. And then when you fall off or you're no longer in good standings, then that is the end of your career, right? So now it's time to go be an Uber Eats driver or something. But what I do know is there's definitely going to be homeboys that are very judgmental when you haven't went to prison. Okay, they're going to start looking at you like, why aren't you putting in the work that I'm putting in? Why aren't you taking penitentiary chances? Why is it that every time you get caught up with the homies, you're the only one that gets away? Then there starts becoming rat jackets. People start fucking placing you in places you've never been. It's like that, you know. But it doesn't mean that you can't be a solid homeboy if you've never been locked up. Okay, we can get all that out the way. And I know, you know, I've talked to a lot of people that fuck with Big Tone's music, fuck with him as a person, period. And they've always said that same thing. The homie ain't never did no real time. He's not a real one. And I said, well, he seems like a real one to me. He seems like a very laced up, educated individual, having not been in prison. See, prison isn't the only place where you get blessed or laced up or ran down. There's a lot of homeboys. See, back in the days when we were young, there was a lot of homeboys, old school OG homeboys that were going in and out of the pinta, that were there when it was really functioning, that were there when there was a lot of guerra between North and South, North and Woods and all that, right? Blacks and Southsiders, when it was really cracking, late 70s, early 80s, all the way into the 90s when it was popping, right? And these OGs, we relied on to give us the clecha. We relied on them to school us, to educate us, because we knew we were out there taking penitentiary chances. See, let's talk about the word active, right? See, I hear a lot of people throwing it around here on social media. They're active. You're not active. You're in good standings, but you're not active. See, if you were active in the way that you're supposed to be, your ass would be locked up right now looking at a shoot term. See, if you were actively putting in work, it's only a matter of time before it catches up to you because the hood and the streets talk. You know, it doesn't mean your hood's a ratting ass hood. It just means the streets talk. And everybody wants to be that one putting in work, earning them stripes. So you want your name out there, and it's only a matter of time before law enforcement hears your name over and over again if you're really, truly active doing that. And you're going to catch a lifetime of incarceration and struggle. And best believe nobody that's there doing that lifetime because they were active wants to be that anymore. They might still want to kick it and play in the reindeer games, but they don't want to do that time that they're doing. But now they have no choice. So using that word active, you got to tread lightly and really know the true definition of the word. Activities means you're out there getting real active. You're out there 1, 2, 3, 1. You're getting it, right? No. A lot of these guys are in good standings because for one, they've never been in a situation where their life is on the line. Or two, you know, they're really not living that gang mentality life to the fullest. They're playing gangster, not being gangster. Now, that doesn't mean there's not a lot of good homeboys that just have never gotten caught up. Because I do have those. See, I remember when I was out there running amok with the homeboys, really gang banging, actively looking for trouble, right? There was younger homeboys that we try to keep away from the bullshit and the shenanigans. Oh, they wanted to participate, but we try to keep them away because that's what an OG homeboy does. You give life lessons. You let them know, hey, homie, you don't want to go down that road. Have you guys ever, and I repeat, ever seen any of these so-called real active gang members, motherfuckers that have done a lot of time, get on social media and say, hey, homie, you need to go put in work. You need to do that. No, you always hear them say the same thing. Hey, homie, you don't want to go to prison. Prison ain't where it's at. That ain't where it's popping. You always hear them say that. Okay, so all these guys that are playing that fucking role, like, hey, prison is a badge of honor. In some cases, it is lightweight. But at the end of the day, it also makes you look like a baboso. If you're a person that keeps getting in and out of prison and incarcerated, then you're not truly educated. You're not learning anything. Either you've given your life for your cause and you're willing to go all out, and usually with that, you're one and done. You do something major and it cancels all Christmases. But if you're in and out of incarceration for petty shit like dope, getting caught with dope all the time, distribution, just bullshit, knick-knack ass paddywhack charges, then you're not going to be looked at as a real solid homeboy. You're going to be looked at as a crash dummy and someone who is basically giving up their life to go in there and chill and bust a spread, homie. And that's the real life thing. See, motherfuckers that are lifers that really made a mistake and truly understand that they made a mistake, and they're still in there in good standings doing their thing because they're functioning the way they're supposed to with their people, they'll tell you themselves, hey, bro, it's a slap in the face of a lifer when you're coming in and out, when you're throwing your life away, a life that they cherish and wish they could have back, and you're just throwing it away. You're not going to be looked at in good standings or as a good, solid homeboy. Them same dudes that try to give you schooling give up on you. Why do you think the OGs tell you, hey, don't let me see you back in here, bro? They're not telling you go out there and gangbang, homie, for the water and come right back. Come on now. Back to Big Tone. So Big Tone's not done a whole lifetime of incarceration. He's never been in prison. Does that mean he's any less of a Norteno than a Norteno that has? Absolutely not, man. You never question a man and you don't know what he's really about. You know, they say there's a lot of people that you're not supposed to judge people until you meet. You're not supposed to judge them, period, but you meet a person, get to know a person, know who they really are. Not on this social media hype bullshit, but get to know who they really are, because not everyone is who they are to everyone else. See, I have homeboys, they know me as a certain way. They know me as, damn, that motherfucker was vicious back in the days. He was with the business. Then I got homeboys that I've met that know I'm a changed man and I'm not with that shit anymore. Then I got people that judge me and they're like, oh, he's a pussy, a poop butt, a punk. He's a sucker, man. He can't walk in his own neighborhood. I could hold my head up high, right? Well, of course, bro, because we didn't play by the same rules. Obviously. You know, we didn't go by the same standards. We didn't carry ourselves to a certain standard. And guess what, man? My politics are not your politics. And you should already know my politics are much more vicious than anything you've ever been through. You've seen it from an outside looking in, right? Do I think Big Tone is any less of a man? No, I think he's a more smarter man. That he's been able to do his business, conduct himself, carry a name and weight within the organization he so righteously claims, and do his thing without getting incarcerated. Now, there's always going to be those that think it's a badge of honor to be locked up. I was one of them. I thought that if you didn't get locked up, you were telling on everyone. There was a reason for it. But now I'm an older man and I understand that's not always the case. You know, but I will say this. If you are out there really putting in work, if you're out there doing what you're supposedly supposed to do, then you're eventually going to get time. Okay, you're eventually going to get looked at some type of way. Law enforcement's going to hear your name ringing bells and they're going to make you a prime example. Okay, if you're not really truly that cut from that cloth, then stay the fuck out the way. Because I guarantee you're going to go in there and see a whole different mentality and a different world. The streets don't mean shit in prison. Everything you've done up to that point when you cross that threshold of R&R don't mean shit. You might have a homeboy from your barrio who speaks up good for you, but you're always going to have to prove yourself. That don't mean shit. I don't care. Do you watch American Me? Big Puppet said, hey, my little canalito, he's this, and that. Can I talk to you, puppet? You know what I mean? Was I talking to you, ese? There's always going to be a situation where you're going to have to prove yourself. Then that truly is when we see if you're active and cut from that cloth. You know, so much work I put in doesn't get accounted for. It's always going to be in my history. I'm always going to think about it. I'm always going to recognize that I had them stripes and now they no longer count. But I'm also going to recognize the sacrifice behind those stripes. The time I did, starving in that cell, you know, no canteen, no fucking visiting, chick fucking cheating on a motherfucker, all that. I went through all them hardships that you hear about and everyone talks about. I've seen it all, okay? Having to get off on family members on the yard because we're from different fucking areas. Having to know that my primo is on the same yard with me, and if he gets whacked, I can't get his back. So there's nothing I can do about it because my people don't condone it. Having good ass homeboys fall off left and right that I know are solid as fuck, but because someone dicked them up, Someone politicked and dirty macked them. Now they're no longer in good standings. And I have to sit there while homeboys are talking shit about them, calling them all kinds of pussies and poo butts. When I know these same motherfuckers that are saying this weren't even doing nothing on the streets. They're in on a getting caught with dope charge, right? So I've seen it all. When Big Tone was asked that question on Vlad TV, you know, he answered correctly. He answered smooth. And I'm here to double down on it and say, prison is not what makes you a man. What makes you a man is taking care of your family. Now, of course, when you're living that gang lifestyle, it is kind of expected that you're going to do some time. When you sign on that dotted line and you dedicate yourself to the barrio, to the cause, to the norte, the sur, the woods, the whatever you dedicate yourself to, that comes with a whole lot. That comes with an understanding. Like people always say, you know what you signed up for, Gunner. Yes, I do know what I signed up for. I signed up for sitting in the fucking hole, starving like a motherfucker, looking at that aquafresh thinking, damn, I wonder if that shit tastes good. I signed up for that. I signed up for fucking getting out, my eyes all fucked up, needing glasses because of doing shoe time. I signed up with a lot of homeboys talking a lot of shit behind your back. I signed up with a lot. Prison brings a lot more than just canalismo and gangster shit, right? There's a lot of downtime, homie. A lot of downtime. And you'll get to recognize that. I think Big Tone is a very smart man. I think he is an anomaly. And I say that to say this. He is one of the only Norteños I've ever seen that has not done prison time that gets that much respect. And that's because Davalto's educated himself. Not only on prison politics and what it is to be a Norteño. Allegedly, I don't want to say he is and get him validated. But I'm also saying that he has definitely conducted himself in a proper fashion and for so many years has put people on and has played his cards right. See, he's a rapper. He's a rapper. He's a Northern California rapper, one of the biggest ones since Woody's passing, right? And he carried that torch for his lost homeboy. He kept that flame lit. He's always in the Sacramento area, the Bay Area, car shows, all these different spots, function with Northerners, youngsters, putting them on, educating them. Now, I understand that there are those that will talk shit behind his back. Ah, man, how the homie gonna game me up? He ain't even been locked up. Do you think that's where all the game is at? No, that's where a certain game is played. There's a lot of game on the streets that Tone can give you, like how be a businessman, an entrepreneur, open up a store, man, do good from your family. See, being a Norteño or a Southsider isn't about being incarcerated. It isn't about losing time with your children. It's about canalismo and functioning and having your be defending your promised land, your homeland. It's also about knowing what you are and being pure in heart with your people and having a space at that table. It's about carrying yourself with dignity, pride, and your head up high. It ain't all about gangbanging. See, there's a difference between a gangbanger and a gangster. Gangsters have a whole different type of mentality. Gangsters are about their money, homes, and taking care of their familia. Okay, gangbangers are about going on the streets and building credibility and a name for all the wrong reasons. You know, you're not a cool guy if you're out there killing your own gente. Someone that looks just like you. That's just the truth. You know, am I saying that all gangs are bad? No, but they're very tricky. That's the truth of the matter, right? I commend Big Tone on the way he steps, how he's continued to do that. And I just wanted to utilize that to do this content and say, when Vlad asked him, how does he get treated? How is he? I don't see him getting treated any differently because he's very well respected. He's earned everything he gets. That's a fact. And there's a lot of Southsiders and a lot of Norteños from barrios. I got a lot of homeboys that never did time, man, and they're respected. But there are always going to be those that do wear prison as a badge of honor. And like I'm sure others would say, and I'm sure people will agree, if you've never done time, you're always going to be questioned. You know, when you get to prison, this is the truth. When you're a fish, new booty, first termer, whatever spin you want to put on the title. When you get to jail, homes, they're always going to ask you, hey, where you been? What yard have you been on? They already automatically assume you've been places. And when you say, it's like the movie Willy Wonka, 2? How the fuck am I going to do just 2? Let's just say you had 200, Charlie, right? When you tell them, I ain't never been on no yards. Never been on a yard, right? They're going to start to question you. Well, how the fuck are you super gang banged out? Well, got birds all over you, 13s all over you, and you ain't never been to a yard, homie. We need to get at you, right? And that goes along with all these dudes pretending prison pretenders. Getting all these tattoos all over them, wanting that look, that gangster look, that prison look. Because let's be honest with you, man, prison is where all the tacas, you know, guys would get out of prison all tatted down. You know, man, when you were young, your OG homeboys come out all blasted back. Those like myself were like, damn, I want to get sleeves. I want to be just like that. I got them. Look, sometimes I forget I got them. It's not, I almost did the lefty right there. I forget that I got them. It's not a big deal. Tattoos don't mean shit. Okay, tattoos, bald haircuts, Mongolians. That right there, man, is just giving yourself up to the authorities, alerting them of your presence. A real gangster moves like lasagna, slow and quiet. Truth, right? Especially on this social media shit. All I gotta say, man, reflecting back to Big Tone is, I think he's a real righteous soldado, a good homie that never got locked up. So be it. You know, and those that question him need to question themselves and think about it. How can you be mad at him? Damn, you ain't a real homie. You ain't even been locked up, fool. What were you locked up for last time? Got caught with some scante? I bet you did. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose, get everything that you want coming. And remember, man, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you think part of gangbanging is being incarcerated? I will say this. You know, it's like a rites of passage. It is. You know, when you get out and you're trying to game homeboys up and you tell me, I just got it old Folsom, they're going to listen. When you say, hey, where'd you, I just got back from Burger King, they're going to be like, it's so rodeo burger ass motherfucker. I'm telling you, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. Let me know what you think. The Gun.